let me tell you about partners. Since 6 years, since the beginning of DLD, we are very close with HP. HP is our technology partner, but not only this. The guys of HP are our friends. They consult us, they are part of our think tank, they're part of our family. Gabi Zedelmeier, who I met at the World Economic Forum, was the first who told me about the next big thing, cloud computing. She told me about service-oriented basis. She always was ahead of her time. Just recently, she told me it's not anymore on corporate social responsibility. Now it's on corporate social innovation. So HP, thank you. We thank so much HP. Where's Gabi? Gabi, where are you sitting? She's not here. My God, she should see. She should hear this. And here's Annette Nachbar. Annette Nachbar is, stand up. Annette and Gabi, please. Really, it's, a network of friends like them is wonderful. Thank you so much for the 6 years of DLD friendship. So, Marcel, you introduce someone. Come.
We'd like to introduce Michael Mendenhall now to the floor and have an applause to Michael Mendenhall. He's the... Michael is Senior Vice. Hello. Hello. That's the tush.
Wow.
I want to read who Michael is because you should know who's talking to you right now because it's from the top. Michael is the Senior Vice President of HP and Chief Marketing Officer and a world-leading technology company. You're 32 in Fortune. And
we're a Fortune 9 company.
Fortune 9 even. Top 10 Fortune, and around 300,000 employees work with HP all over the world. And especially you are heading all corporate marketing, operations, strategy, and especially also the involvement into environmental issues of HP, sustainability strategy, and social innovation, which Steffi was just mentioning. And over in the next 15 minutes or so, you will tell us about how HP and you see that and what is the world impact. And on these issues, also including education. We're looking forward to that. And now the floor is to Michael Mendenhall.
Thank you very much. So first I want to start with, we are a global company. 70% of our revenue by quarter is generated outside of the U.S. So we think as a global company. We happen to be based in the U.S., but our senior management team really thinks globally at a macro level. But one thing we do understand, and I'm going to have you participate here a little bit before I get into a more formal presentation, how many of you own an HP printer in your office or at home? And I'm not surprised, right? We have close to 70% market share in the printer category. In fact, many people believe that HP stands for have a printer. Not the case. In fact, most recently with our acquisition of EDS in the services side, adding over 120,000 employees to HP, we now are at about 310,000 employees worldwide. Most of those employees are outside of the U.S. And so what I like to try to do is sort of set a course, not just about HP, but how we sort of view the world. Because clearly, the world is not as simple as it once was. There are certainly clear sort of economic challenges, which we've seen in the last year, and societal challenges that exist globally. There are also long-term forces that we see at HP that are changing rapidly. Demographics, migration, globalization, this huge information explosion that's taking place that all of you participate in are reshaping the landscape as we see it. And I just want to start with the macro sort of look at what the world looks like and what it's going to look like. In 2025, the worldwide population will expand approximately 20%, from 6.6 billion to 7.8 billion. Now, further complicating that challenge are the growth patterns that we're seeing emerge. And those are varying very widely by country. As you can see here, for instance, in India, the number of people between the ages of 20 and 50 is going to grow more than 60%. Meanwhile, here in Germany, the population under 40 is actually going to decrease 28%. So you have this growing younger population in developing markets. These people are demanding new access to new opportunities, while we have aging populations in developed markets, and they're going to have a need for support and services. We're also witnessing today what we're seeing as the urbanization of the global community. The worldwide population is expected to grow by 1 billion people by 2020. Cities are expanding by 60 million people annually. That's the equivalent of adding another Beijing every other month. These fragile infrastructures that exist today and that you hear about in the press and in the media are straining these cities and these populations to adapt to this massive, massive influx of new people. As information technology today, we believe, has leveled the playing field, globalization has also at the same time brought more people into the world economy. Over the next several decades, what we are going to see is the number of people that are considered to be in the global middle class, this is going to have a significant impact on IT, is going to swell 440 million to 1.2 billion. These expectations that these new folks will have that are coming into the middle class are only going to make more demands on the current infrastructure. In the backdrop that we look at in these seismic transformations is what we consider the information explosion. As the power of what we believe human creativity has combined with this sort of widespread growth of mobile technologies and digital connectivity, when you think about 20%, only 20% of the world's population of 6.6 billion people are currently online, and that's growing every day. Information is doubling every 4 years, and digital content is doubling every 18 months, and only 2% of the world's content is digitized, and it's accelerating. And all of this information that's at your fingertips becomes useless unless you can manage it and exploit it to your advantage. I like to say, water, uncontrolled is a flood. Controlled, it's irrigation. Fire, uncontrolled, will burn your home down. Controlled, it will heat it. Data that's uncontrolled, unmanaged is noise, and managed, it becomes knowledge. So if you step back and you think about all these forces, it points to one fact. The physical infrastructure that we've built over the last 100 years will not map to the needs of the next 100 years. Fast-growing demands are tapping out, diminishing resources. But there's one powerful exception, and many of you know that in this room, and that's the idea, and it's a resource that we believe is growing and is renewable, and that's the human capacity to innovate. Throughout history, we like to look and say that every few centuries, we harness a new source of power, and whether that started with fire, then steam, then electricity, and oil, we believe today it's information. And at HP, we are helping to lead what we believe is this revolution in the way information is created, captured, stored, secured, processed, and shared. We have ushered in an area of open industry standards at the bottom of this as hardware that frees data from what was the handcuffs on the mainframe and has allowed for the democratization of technology. We then take layers of software and wrap industry-standard hardware to automate processes and management. Software is also automating knowledge discovery, servicing relevant data for trending, analysis, and insights. We can transform this vast sea of growing digital content and usable information, and we can transmit it in an interactive way to always connected devices in real time. Ultimately, we see the world where everything here will be delivered as a service, from computing power to business processes to personal interactions. In short, giving more people more access to more information than ever before, wherever and however they want it and need it. Technology presents really a powerful set of tools to get the right information to the right place at the right time. We believe at HP this is one of the most exciting times for the future of IT. But the bigger opportunity is going to lie in our ability to project this intelligence from what we call the cloud, the data center, out into the world and change the equation to find a different answer to the way we provision our most fundamental society obligations, from energy to healthcare to education. When it comes to energy, technology sheds light on consumption. It drives efficiency in the use of resources, and it can displace sort of the very heavy carbon energy intensive processes altogether. Currently, only 2% of the global emissions are generated by IT, but as an industry, we have an obligation to continually improve that 2%. But we believe there is a greater opportunity in using IT to address the other 98% in the industry verticals. HP is just one example, is building one of the most powerful and sustainable data centers in the world, right in the UK, where sensors light the rows of servers, where the roof actually collects the runoff rainwater for landscaping and fire protection, and where the cold wind blowing off the North Sea actually cools the IT equipment. When complete, this facility will be one of the largest and most efficient in all of Europe. That's one thing we're doing to address the 2% energy consumption. We can also use this technology to redefine entire industries, like publishing. In 2007, and this is a staggering statistic, in the US alone, 2.3 billion magazines that went to newsstands were never read. HP has developed a service called MagCloud. This allows anyone to produce a professional quality magazine on demand. That means no large press runs, no pre-pub costs, no warehousing, no distribution, and no waste. This is one example of where we've partnered with The Atlantic to bring their archives to life separately, and it was very quick that we had this response, and I wanted to bring this to show you how fast, when you think about the democratization of content and how people have engaged with MagCloud. A group of professional photographers after the Haiti earthquake got together very rapidly and produced this magazine through HP's MagCloud. This was a magazine that raised funds for all those afflicted and affected by the earthquake in Haiti. Moving on and talking about healthcare. Over the past 50 years, information technology has redefined many human experiences and industries that support them, from retail to financial services, where you've seen efficiencies, quality, service being improved. However, one of our most important sectors, healthcare, has lagged behind. We believe that information technology, again, can dramatically improve the quality of what is delivered and ensuring that the right thing is delivered at the right time in the right way to the right person. And perhaps nowhere can I showcase a better example of this than, in reality, St. Olav's Hospital in Norway. Through thin clients, the patients have the world of information and entertainment at their bedside, while the doctors and nurses have mobile devices that actually have access to patient information wherever they are. They capture and they can share vital patient data, X-rays, lab results in a very timely way. But perhaps most importantly here, all these systems work together seamlessly through a next-generation, industry-standard IT infrastructure. With technology at the heart of its operation, St. Olav's is at the forefront, really, of 21st century healthcare. Information technology is the engine that provides the knowledge for the treatment. So we really believe that there's an important play in IT with healthcare, and that's one example. The next is education and the importance of that. For over 65 years, we've spent a lot of time working closely with policymakers and educators, looking at how technology can expand the horizons of what education can deliver. Today, people expect to learn and study wherever and whenever they want to. And with information technology, we can enrich that and extend educational opportunities from primary school to universities, to the lecture hall, to the broader world around us. There are no boundaries. In 2006, we did a study with Clemson University with an HP technology grant, where we provided HP tablets and PCs along with software. And we worked with the teachers to help redesign one of their calculus classes to incorporate technology. The percent of Ds, Fs, and withdrawals dropped from 59% to 20%. Now, we're also using this technology to partner with UNESCO to build the first university e-infrastructure for Africa and the Arab states. And this project goes beyond just sharing information. It's cloud-based, as Steffi talked about. It's about shared computing power, shared data storage, shared access to remote locations. This is allowing universities to tap into a network and increase learning and scientific collaboration around the world. It expands to broaden the communities, broaden the economies, and share in culture. In the future, we see truly sustainable cities redesigned with energy as the organizing principle. Power, water, waste management, transportation, dynamically provisioned by networks of nanoscale sensors. A healthcare system that is naturally integrated into everyday life, expensive sort of emergency room and doctor visits replaced by virtual consultations that are preventative in nature, highly personable, and will be available to all. An education system freed from what we think of as a physical anchor to buildings of higher education. We can open up the doors, stay always connected, and allow learning to happen anywhere, at any place, at any time, connecting the world. In a world where demands and resources don't add up, technology, we believe, can change the equation and find a different answer for a sustainable global society. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here and appreciate the opportunity.